Hello, everyone, and welcome back to a brand new episode of Baat, Kardi. So, this is episode 4, and today I want to talk about just the idea of being consistent and just being more focused on your goals and sometimes the struggle that can be associated with the same. Um, so, if you're watching this, you might possibly be going through something similar. If not, that's amazing and I'm really happy for you. But in that case, maybe you can forward this to someone who you know might be going through something similar. So let's get started. So, for the last couple of weeks, even, I've really been struggling with staying consistent to the things that I needed to be. I had assignments that were due basically a couple of days before at the time of recording, and I wasn't working on them. I had so much time and I had, so many resources that I could have utilized just to make it the best possible work ever, but I don't know. I was just putting it off and I wasn't really giving it the attention or even the effort it really deserved. And I really found myself struggling at the end when I was just trying to get over the finish line because I was dragging my feet. I really couldn't get the words out, and it felt like I had just taken so much time and so much effort. And at the end of the day, I was like, why do I keep doing this? For those of you who aren't aware, I am currently doing my master's at Cardiff University. And if any of my professors are listening to this, no, you aren't. And if some of my classmates are listening to this, hi guys. But yeah, I've just been struggling a little bit. Mental health hasn't exactly been very helpful, but such is life and we persevere. So yeah, I was really struggling with my assignments and it really took a lot out of me. I'm not gonna lie. Like these last two assignments, for some reason, were just more difficult than the previous two had been. And I'm not gonna lie, I'm just glad that they're over, and now I can focus on what's to come. And it feels really weird talking about this because it just feels like a couple of days ago that I even came to this country, and now my first semester is done. I'm done with 4 modules. I'm basically halfway done with my master's, and that's weird. But that's just how it is. Time really waits for no one, and I guess that includes me as well. Regardless, so we're here now, and it's been quite a bit since I've been to the gym. I've just found one excuse or the other to put it off, and I haven't really been back in, God, I don't even know how long. Like, I haven't gone, I think, all of New Year's. Like, so far, like the 2-ish weeks that we've had in the New Year, I don't think I've been back to the gym, which is really upsetting because I was doing so well, I was constantly setting PRs for myself. I was constantly feeling like I was getting stronger. I was seeing some minor results in my body. And I don't know, sometimes things just don't really work out. Things sort of get out of balance, get out of sync, and it gets really, really easy to just drop, which is actually something I even talked about in last week's episode as well, which was just about, doing things. Do it first, do it bad, do it incomplete, do it unpolished, just do it and then make it better later. And honestly, I'm one of the biggest hypocrites in this capacity because I say all of these things, I push people to do so much, and I can't do it for myself often. But I also try to remind myself that at the end of the day, I'm also human, I can say all of these things, I can do all of these dances, but there's only so much I can push myself if my body and my mind just aren't willing to cooperate. Yes, I am a firm believer of sometimes pushing yourself, because you're not going to get out of a slump unless you're ready to really just get out of there. And sometimes that's what it is. Sometimes you need to be a little gentler with yourself and just remind yourself it's okay. It's tiring. Things are not going exactly our way. That's okay, but we're going to take a minute. We're going to breathe. We're going to give ourselves love and not grief, and we're going to be okay. And that's what I've been trying to do for the last couple of days. But, some days are going to be easier than others. And I was supposed to record this episode at least 2 days ago. Didn't do it. I'm recording this episode on a Saturday, which is usually when episodes go live. If you're tuning in on YouTube, episodes go live on Saturdays. We don't necessarily have a consistent schedule. Like we're not weekly or bi-weekly. Sometimes an episode is just going to drop on a Saturday. But if you're tuning in on a podcasting platform like a Spotify or Apple Music or Amazon or Google, episodes go live on Fridays. So that should be an incentive to check us out earlier somewhere else. But I digress. So episode was supposed to go up, or at least be recorded 2 days ago. Didn't do it, and I'm doing it on a Saturday. And that's basically pushing the line, because what if the episode isn't done in time? What if it doesn't go live on time? So on and so forth, right? I could have given myself further excuses to not end up recording because it was already late in the day and I may not be able to finish it on time. Who knows, right? But I'm going to tell myself the same thing that I told you guys last week. Well, not last week, but the last episode, which is just do it. Honestly, just do it. We'll figure out the rest later. We'll figure out if it's good, if it's bad, if it's just good enough. Because sometimes life is just good enough. It's not great, it's not bad, it's just good enough. And honestly, I feel like a lot of us should just learn to be happy and learn to be content with just good enough, because it's okay. I've seen so many people striving for more and more and more, but they're never happy with what they're getting. And I feel like that's a larger problem in and of itself, that humanity is never satisfied. But there's nothing wrong with wanting more, but you should also learn to be happy with what you're getting as well. There's nothing wrong with constantly striving for better, but accept what you have as well and make the most of that. And I'm trying to do that myself with this podcast and just this resurgence of my art, because I really love creating, you guys. I really love telling stories. I really love putting myself out there. And when I started this podcast, I really had no idea what I was going to do with it. Like, the whole premise was just a fun little thought I had in my head for the name. That's it. Baat, Kardi, For those who don't understand Urdu or Hindi, it basically just translates to, dude, he said something, like he's on to something. That's basically the gist of the phrase. And honestly, I think that's kind of where my head was at. I was like, I want to be trying to share my experiences. I want to try to tell stories, and maybe it'll connect with someone and they're going to be like, damn, I think this guy's on to something, I feel like he's on the right track. Something like that. And I don't know, maybe someone's going to take something away from this. Maybe someone's going to be inspired. Maybe someone's going to be like, I needed to hear this today. So I'm happy that I heard it here. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that it's okay to not do your best sometimes. It's okay to struggle when your best is just is sometimes. I often have self-doubts about the art that I'm creating and the art that I'm pushing out there, because for the longest time I was so obsessed with numbers and reactions and responses that I forgot why I was creating art. I wasn't necessarily doing it for those responses. I mean, I was doing it for that, but I was doing it because somewhere deep down inside, I wanted to tell stories. I wanted to share my art with people. And there's a film that I made just for that sole reason and all as well, because I want to be someone that can leave something behind once I'm gone. I've lost a lot of people in my life. I'm 25 years old and I've lost a lot of people who I was very close to at a very young age. And I've seen loss up close and personal. And for a lot of those people, one of the few things that keeps them alive is the fact that I keep talking about them. I keep creating art about and for them. One of my childhood best friends passed away some years back, and every year on his birthday, I write something for him and I post it on my newsletter, or I post it on social media somewhere or the other. And every year on Eid or another, religious celebration or event, I always make sure to text his family, just check in with them, see how they're doing. And to me, that is my way of honoring my friend and making sure his memory stays alive. For those who know me personally know that I do something very similar for my family, and for those of my loved ones who've lost someone as well. I want to be the kind of person that when I'm gone, that there are people who still think about me the way I think about those who I have lost. I want to be more than just the sum of my parts. I would like to be a story. I would like to be part of the stories that we leave behind. Because I've been a storyteller for so long, I know how important these things are. So I'm hoping that when I'm gone, someone might be willing to tell my story. So even on the days where I can't really do much, I remind myself that we're going to figure it out. We're going to push forward and we're going to get through it, and it's going to be okay. Because it is going to be okay. Sometimes it's rough, sometimes it's just what it is. But it's okay. We're going to figure it out. And yeah, I think the fact that I'm willing to be kinder to myself when it comes to my art has really come through with what I've been producing for some time now as well. I feel like my films have, in a way, been more digestible and easier on me as well. But I also really want to push myself to create something proper, something big. For those who haven't seen my first short film, Sodachi, The Love That Remains, that was the film that I had to make for my A-level portfolio for media studies. And that film took a lot out of me because it was basically an ode to my maternal grandfather who had passed away the previous year. And I just didn't know what to do with all of that grief, all of that sadness and the loss that I had suffered. So I decided to make that film. And yeah. So Sodachi was and is actually, till date, the biggest project I've ever worked on. It had multiple people helping me work on it. It had so many different intricacies that went into it. I can't even recall how many versions of the script I wrote, just going back and forth, back and forth, back and forth, because things just didn't work while I needed things to be better. And yeah, it was a lot. So I miss that. I miss having that sort of community and, that space to do and be more. So I'm hoping that I can do that before this new year ends. But yeah. Anyways. So if you're going through something similar right now where you're just struggling to do more or just push yourself beyond what your current capabilities are, this is my reminder, or rather my message to you, that you are more than these days that feel bleak, and you are going to get past them. It may feel like it's stormy now and that the sun won't come out, but trust me, the sun will come out. You might actually be surprised at how the light outside catches you off guard, because things just seemed so bleak and so dark. But things sometimes have a way of surprising us, and we surprise ourselves too. I've had more than one occasion where I was just struggling with something, and then a moment of inspiration would catch me, and then I would just feel enlightened. I was like, oh my god, this is wow, this is what is this? Where was this when I needed this, like 15 minutes ago? Life is weird, life is different, but it's all this weird, wacky adventure that we're all on. So give yourself some grace, give yourself some comfort, give yourself some love, because you're only human. It's gonna be okay, dude. And if you've been putting off on those New Year's resolutions, I see you, I believe in you, and I have faith. Let's get back to this, and let's make this year so much better than the last one, because we deserve it. We deserve it, and we're gonna get it because we want it. And sometimes that is enough. So yeah, I think I'm going to end this here. This is going to be a little bit a shorter episode, but thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope I will get to see you guys in the next one. Be sure to check out the previous episodes of Baat, Kardi, wherever you get your podcast from. And if you like hearing more of me and you would like to see where these stories that I've been bringing up are, you can find them on my YouTube channel, which is where everything lives, including this podcast in video format. And yeah, if there's anything that you guys would like to talk about, or even just share your own stories, feel free to do so in the comments, because I would love to hear more, and I would love to just know where so many people who are listening in from are actually coming from and what their stories are. So yeah, thank you so much for tuning in, and I will see you guys in the next one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.